Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Domestic Boyfriends podcast. My name is Dean, and with me is Vincent.
Hello. It's me.
Yeah, it's him. Man,
Yeah.
it's great times, right? Amazing
I'm
times.
And that's
You are.
Dean.
You are. Yeah.
And this is the Domestic Boyfriend Podcast.
Yes. yes, it is. Um. Not so eventful. Not so eventful since the last time we've talked to you guys. News-wise. But nonetheless, we come to you with another episode. This week we're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts, a video game that both of us hold very near and dear to our hearts. Part of our,
I get it.
yeah, it's a joke. It's in the name. Something we've both played and know a decent amount that we wanted to do an episode about. So, but before we get into that, got some news, got some stuff we want to talk about, some stuff that was on the Twitters and we think is cool. So
Crazy stuff.
yeah, so start us off.
Well, fast approaching, meaning literally next week or sometime next week.
Oh man,
You'll never know.
yeah.
God of War Ragnarok is going to release. The long-awaited sequel to Santa Monica Studios' God of War 2014. Now, those of you who are excited, and as excited as I am, as well as Dean, who's definitely beaten the game.
2014.
I'm almost 100% sure that God of War came out in 2014.
The one that came out for the PS4 did not come out in 2014.
2018.
Okay.
Close enough. They have a. If you just add 4, it's fine.
It has not almost been a decade since that game has been released.
I'm tired. That being said, people who are excited for the game, as both me as well as especially Dean, who has absolutely played and beaten the game.
Mm-hmm. I have done one of those things.
Be careful when looking up info for the game, and be careful being on the internet, because some retailers have sold the game 2 weeks ahead of its release date, as well as Sony sending some of the special PS5 God of War Ragnarok PS5 editions out already. So there are already full spoilers, and the entire game has been shown off online now.
We hate it.
We hate to see this. Santa Monica is absolutely devastated that this is how the release of their game they've put
the entire city of Santa Monica
into. Yeah, the entirety of it. But just be on the lookout, or if you're one of those people who don't like playing video games but love watching the story, do that now. If that really suits your fancy. Also, in line with releases, a special game came out last week called Gotham Knights. And it came out and was exactly what we expected it to be, a unfortunate steaming pile of doo-doo.
Oh no.
Games really... There's not really much there. The graphics are actually kind of a downgrade from Gotham Knight, which came out years before. The combat's really unimaginative and not fun, and it's just sort of a mediocre game. The developers did announce that sometime next month, I believe, the game is going to have a update that allows 4 people to play together in the same world, which should have been a feature from the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't make video games, but also they talk about a multiplayer video game with 4 playable characters, but you can only have 2 people in, is just kind of weird. And I don't know if you saw this, but IGN gave the game a 5. Usually when IGN posts their reviews, especially on like Instagram and other sites like that, they put it in a little hexagon. Some genius for the Spider-Man PC port made a mod where your playable character model is now replaced with that hexagon 5 of Gotham Knights review score, which is absolutely amazing.
I mean, it's honestly kind of sad because, when it first was announced, it looked really promising. Like the idea of it and, the concept. We enjoy as consumers of DC products. Like whenever stuff isn't exactly like something that we've seen before, a new rendition. But kind of sucks that the game sucks. But the story's really good, or at least it's decent.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken about it too. I don't know if it's like made it to the full game or not. I know that I saw some illustrations for like some like outfit choices that you can make for your characters, and one of them was like a Batman Beyond styled suit for every single character, which looked absolutely phenomenal. But that's not enough to get me to pay $60 for a game that is just kind of meh.
Yeah, it's sad. Hopefully it'll get some nice treatment later on, like some games do, with getting updates.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you have any video game news?
Oh, video game stuff. Yeah. Give me a second. I have some things. Do I? Yeah. What the heck was this? Oh, never mind. Okay. Yeah. This is kind of video game related stuff. January 15th is the premiere date for the Last of Us HBO Max show.
Ooh.
Movie show? Was this a series? I don't remember.
It's a series.
It's a series, yeah. So, that's exciting. I've totally played The Last of Us, and will totally be watching this because I'm an excited fan. Yeah. Yeah. I think Vincent's a fan too, right? Yeah.
Oh yes. Who's in that game?
Yeah.
Joel's a character, and Ellie.
Kratos?
I do know the game. Yeah.
Kratos. Yeah.
Kratos? No, that's a different game. That's God of Scuffle.
Yeah. So that's cool. Someone got a W. Puma is collaborating with Pokemon on some shoes.
That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, it's interesting.
Adidas is making Yu-Gi-Oh shoes.
That's questionable. No, I saw some of those. They're cool. PlayStation VR 2 was recently announced with some information. It's coming to us February 22nd, 2023 at the cost of $549.99.
Oh no.
Oh no. It's cost more than a PlayStation 5.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, if I can pay it off over time, sure, I'll do that.
I don't even know, man. You can get like a Quest 2. That's
true.
Kind of ridiculous. Yeah. I was honestly thinking about just putting off a Quest 2 until like I saw the PlayStation VR 2, but man, this is like
there's going to be a Horizon Zero Dawn game for VR though.
That sounds terrifying.
Right? I'm here for it.
And I think that's all the game stuff that I had. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Why am I yawning? Stop it. Anyway. I'm gonna send this to you. This looks really cool. These things look really, really cool.
Breaking news?
Not really. So this Spyro Studios are sending out their first batch of the Ultimate Master Linals. Burning Godzilla, which is from the Godzilla King of Monsters from the Godzilla King of Monsters movie, where he fought King Ghidorah, and like Mothra used polymerization and fused herself with him.
How much?
I don't know.
I want it.
I actually don't know. But also in the background of one of the pictures, you can also see Knifehead from Pacific Rim. Yeah, pretty cool. There's some pretty cool stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool. Yeah. Besides that, there's a video game thing. Uh, I need you guys to look up the God of War Ragnarok commercial in Japanese. You won't regret it. That's all I'm gonna say. It'll get stuck in your head. It's very catchy. Uh, More eventful things. We have our last trailer for Way of Water. Avatar Way of Water.
Ooh.
Very beautiful. Very nice looking. Yeah. Not sure what the movie is about. But it's about water. And blue people. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. Do you have anything like movie related? Anything else movie related?
Oh. Oh ho ho.
He does.
Oh ho 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 ho.
Okay.
Do I ever?
Yeah.
So Winnie Pooh Blood and Honey
Oh. Okay.
is officially getting released in theaters. It's going to be coming out February 15th. But not only did we find that out, we also found out news on the director's next movie, which is going to be called Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare.
Yo.
I kind of hoped that this would become a trend. That this is going to be a fantastic destruction of your childhood, and I am super excited to see what he does with Peter Pan.
Maybe like psychological horror?
Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. Maybe Peter Pan, it literally is just like a child abductor.
I mean, isn't that like the original story? Isn't that what the original story is?
Nah, kind of. I mean, Peter Pan originally was about a kid. Was about kids who died of like smallpox, I think,
Oh.
and never got to grow up. So they went to Neverland instead.
Oh, okay.
Moving on. We also, not necessarily movie related, but they make movies. James Gunn and Peter Safran are officially going to be leading DC Studios as co-CEOs. I've very much for a long time not been a DC movie fan. There have been good ones every now and again. But if those two are running it, Peter Safran, James Gunn, of course, at this point, James Gunn is a very well-known household name. The guy who made Suicide Squad, the good one, and also Guardians of the Galaxy. But Peter Safran is the guy who it was the producer behind the Conjuring series. Or at the very least, the first Conjuring, which I recently went and watched the entire series, and I thought was absolutely fantastic.
Interesting. I didn't know this was confirmed news. Okay. Oh, this is fun. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can do something good.
I hope so too. It gives me hope, and a lot more hope than I've had for quite a while.
Yeah.
That's it for movies for me.
Sorry for all the yawning. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me as well. This the time I got reincarnated as a slime, the movie, Scarlet Bond. We got the trailer. It's supposed to be scheduled for this month on the 25th, so November 25th in
Ooh,
Japan. Interesting. Uh, Slime's fun, so hopefully
very
it'll get
fun.
an English dub and come over here so we can watch it. But if not, that's okay. I don't have any other news. Do you?
I've got two more little bits.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, Liam Hemsworth is going to be taking over the role of Geralt of Rivia
Oh,
in season 4 of The Witcher.
why?
It is no longer going to be Henry Cavill. I don't know if we have news on as to why that is. I
But he does it so well.
there's probably a good chance that this has to just do with like filming overlap with some other projects, potentially him going back and being Superman again.
I mean, it's most likely, but
But I don't know if there's been actual like reasonings given or not. But you know, this will be an awesome opportunity for Liam. He is he's a pretty good actor.
yeah,
So I'm excited.
yeah. No, I mean, good acting opportunity, but I don't know. I've kind of
It's
like,
a little weird to like recast
especially so
the
far
lead
in.
role 4 seasons in, but
Yeah,
you
there can always be like in universe reasons. Maybe Henry Cavill like comes in for an episode and like I don't know, magically gets changed or something. You know,
maybe
maybe
something like
Hush.
that.
Maybe Hush comes in and removes his face. You never know.
Well,
Yeah,
um,
Batman.
and then the last bit that I've got before we move on to the main topic is that we have some more news about HBO Max's Green Lantern TV series.
That's not what
We
I thought
found
you were
out.
gonna say.
We found out that it is going to be focused around Jon Stewart,
Okay. Okay.
which is great. And in line with our, our last episode. A little bit. No Kyle, which, it's a shame.
I
But
feel
hey,
like
I won't be upset about Jon Stewart showing up again.
Kyle was. Get ready for a tangent. Kyle is like Wally. He was part of an era, and that era is gone. And because they want to appease to like the more modern settings, I feel like Hal and John are like the safer picks. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Hal, like the first one of like the golden age. John, getting really popular because of the TV show, and you know, like it's kind of like the same thing with Wally. Like Wally, like definitely like for like an early 2000s 90s person, like that's the Flash. But like Barry was the first one. Barry's who they went with in the New 52 when they did like retcons and reboots and stuff. So Kyle will get his day to shine eventually, but
Yeah.
until then,
He'll stay my favorite in the comics. That's for sure.
yeah, hopefully they'll do something with him eventually. But I'm really excited to see. I want to know if it's like where it is, because the thing about taking someone like this who's had the mantle after people makes me question like where what the show's going to be about, like where the show takes place, like on a linear timeline of like events. Mostly because like they can have like they can make it where it's like, oh, John in this like version could just be like where Hal is, like Abensur's ship crashes, gets the ring, except it's just John instead. Or it could be like a not Hal and Guy focused show, but have them in it. So I don't know. Interesting to see. Hopefully it's good. DC doesn't have a good track record with things as a whole, but their animated features seem to be pretty good, at least for the most part. Yeah, is that it? Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Alrighty. So, like we said before, today we're going to be talking about something very close to us. Kingdom Hearts. You guys know what Kingdom Hearts is? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Once, there was darkness. And then the light. The end. That's the story of Kingdom
I
Hearts.
know now that Kingdom Hearts is light.
Yes. I mean, where do we go with this? I guess, like, favorite parts? Favorite things about it? Favorite story beats?
Introduction?
Favorite, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with an introduction. Tell us about the first game. Tell us about the first little bit.
So, for those of you that don't know, Kingdom Hearts is the love child of Final Fantasy mixing with Disney characters, which on all levels sounds absolutely insane, and put into practice it is. The plot is very sporadic.
We'll get back
But
to that.
we'll get back to the plot. Don't worry. I'm not going to go into the plot right now. But it all starts out with a little boy named Sora on an island with his friends. Riku, Kairi, as well as some of their best friends, characters from Kingdom Hearts 10. And they have dreams of building a sailboat and then sailing away into the distance in search of adventure from their little island. That is not their home, just off the coast of their home.
Yeah. Kids on an island.
Kids on an island. And then one day, their island is completely covered in darkness and swallowed into an abyss. Sora finds out that he has the power to summon a mystical weapon called a Keyblade, which is a giant key that has the power to be able to unlock any lock and lock anything.
Pretty useful. I'm gonna be honest.
Pretty useful. After getting kicked off his island, he is then transported to another world where he meets his companions for the next, well, for basically the entire rest of the series so far. Donald, Duck, and Goofy.
The dog.
The dog.
Yes. These iconic Disney characters are now the friends of this brand new anime boy.
And his adventures and hijinks with them ensue, hopping from Disney World to Original World to Disney World. Meeting
Mostly
all
Disney
sorts
World.
of different, mostly Disney Worlds, meeting all sorts of characters from all different walks of like Disney cartoons, ranging, all the way back to characters like the original Steamboat Willie himself, up to characters, not just from like Disney properties, although Tron Legacy characters do make an appearance at one point. But you also meet characters like Sephiroth and Cloud from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's to go into it a little more. It's this weird thing. Like when you think about Kingdom Hearts, at least for me, like certain characters, just like I don't question it. Like Donald and Goofy, like as weird as they feel, you play with them, they're your companions for so long that they don't feel really out of place. But then like you get to like Olympus and like you see the cartoony aspects of it and it just feels kind of odd. But then you have the Final Fantasy characters, and if you've ever played a Final Fantasy game, they definitely just don't mesh well with Disney. You're taking two like different age brackets and like putting them into one, and you're just like,
Why is Hercules fighting Sephiroth?
yeah. Why is Hercules? If you're playing the randomizer, why is Hercules fighting with Sephiroth?
At its core value, though, Kingdom Hearts is all about the power of friendship and connections that you make with your friends.
Yeah, it is very much like a. It's very much like a Sailor Moon Tokusatsu type of story, where
Disney friendship bullshit.
friends, bonds, connections are what makes the world go round and the most powerful thing that could ever exist. But for Disney, it was a good way to show off products, movies, and stories in case you wanted to see them in video game form. But I have to say, like, it works. You know, I feel like at its core, like I imagine because I was young, we were both young when Kingdom Hearts first came out. As an adult, you probably look at it and you're scratching your head. You know what I mean? You look at it and you're just like, okay, I get the art style because like the original game compared to now was very was much more cartoony. You know, there wasn't as much detail to some of the characters' faces that aren't Disney characters. Like they were very much like in the style of Disney. Like I could see Sora. Like I think even like Kingdom Hearts stuff was sold in like Disney stores back in the day.
Oh, it was absolutely. In fact, there's like specific Kingdom Hearts things that I got from, like my like one trip that I can actually remember to what it's Disneyland in Florida.
Disney
Yeah.
World.
Disney World. Yeah.
So like
No, I got like Kingdom Hearts pins from there.
yeah, and like it might just be the nostalgia talking, but like when I think of Disney as like a conglomerate, I think of Kingdom Hearts. And when I think of Kingdom Hearts, Disney is synonymous because of course, like you kind of can't avoid the two in one
Yeah.
way or the other. But like it does give me like a nostalgia trip for Disney that I think watching other Disney properties doesn't give me. And I think that has to do with the fact that I've played the game so much. Like I know a lot about I've seen Disney movies before, but I know more about some of the story beats just because of playing the worlds in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first game has you running around, beating up bad guys, uncovering some of the mysteries of the world, and you eventually. So you're the protagonist, very obviously. You're Sora. Sora's the protagonist, and it has a very classic like anime feel with Riku. Not being I would say Riku is antagonistic at times, especially like when he's being manipulated. But I
Oh,
wouldn't
absolutely.
necessarily say he's the antagonist of the first game. It's always like the antagonist is always Xehanort,
Yeah.
in whatever form it is. We're not gonna go into like heavy. We're gonna go into spoilers, but we're not gonna talk about like. I mean, we could talk about specific story beats, but it'd be good if you came into this episode understanding like the series as a whole, if not like having an open mind to like listening about the series. We're not gonna go like beat for beat about like stuff that happens, at
Yeah.
least for the
I'm
most
not
part.
I'm not going to give you any like
We're not gonna.
deep lore and history of like the Master of Masters and what the hell that means.
Yeah,
Because I've tried doing that and explaining it to people before, and their eyes literally do glaze back into the back of their heads.
the
There is so much.
the story of Kingdom Hearts is one thing compared to like the game, the character designs. Like as a conglomerate, as like its entire entity, it's a lot. But looking at each individual part, you can learn to love it as a whole slowly. And the story is definitely something that takes the longest to consume as a medium or as a media. But to more focus on the games, Kingdom Hearts as a game throughout all the games. How's Kingdom Hearts even categorized as
It's
a
a
beat 'em up?
fantastic action role playing game.
As a beat 'em up, like gameplay wise, it's considered a beat 'em up, right?
I'd say hack and slash
A
is
hack and
closer
slash,
to it.
hack and slash.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. It's a hack and slash game that at times defies gravity, has a magic meter, and when you get to the second game and forward, form changes, customizable layouts, loadouts,
Mini games.
tons of mini games.
That's like one of the biggest changes that they made between the first and the second game. In the first game, it was almost nothing but like combat and like a few mini games here and there, but mostly combat centric stuff. And then in the second game, they're like, okay, we heard you guys. You wanted this to be part rhythm game, part skateboard simulator.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's definitely a lot. But I grew up playing, like I played one, then I played two, and then like the combat.
Lucky.
It's uh, the
My
combat.
introduction to Kingdom Hearts was starting with Kingdom Hearts 2. I can't tell you how beyond confused I was.
Yeah, it's. You're just like, who's this? And then you get to Sora, and then you're just like, who's
Like,
that? Who's that? Am I supposed to know who that is? What do you mean?
Whatever,
What do you mean it's been years? Or it's been a time. What's Donald and Goofy here?
I agree. I agree with them. Roxas do come back to us. I miss him. He was cool.
Yeah, gameplay is pretty awesome. You can combos, is like the amount of different combos you can do, is really cool. Like unique, like not like chaining things that people have done. Especially like when you get into the later games.
It's truly like crazy and like masterful. The people who like really learn the intricacies of the combat systems in the game, because the combat is like one of the biggest draws for the game, at least for me.
Yeah, you can
because
either.
they always feel just so good to play.
Yeah, it's really fluid once you know what you're doing, and like when you do know what you're doing, you can. It's literally the definition of high, like low skill floor, but insanely high skill ceiling. Like super easy to pick up, and like as you go on, like bosses like scale with you, as long as you know what you're doing and like can see attack patterns. But like people can 100% bosses like once they figure out like the intricacies of like the new systems within each game. Yeah, it can just get crazy. Before we move on, I really want to hear this from you. In each game, starting from two, well, I guess it's only two and three. What is your favorite form?
My favorite form. Oh my god, dude.
There's not that many, but if you want to
That's
count,
true.
if you want to count the different forms in three, I guess. But you know, those are more like what Keyblade do you enjoy?
Yeah. Before playing 3 and before like going back and playing 2 again, and then a really big thing that I've done that's also like helped increase my love for the series, and it's a really awesome thing that the community keeps doing for these games. I know that other games have them as well, where there's randomizers and stuff. Like Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is an absolutely fantastic game to play randomized.
Yeah,
But the
fantastic.
Kingdom,
Yeah.
it's really fun. Especially when you know like where all the like chests are and stuff that you can go and check and be like, okay, what am I doing on this run? But for Kingdom Hearts, it's a special kind of wacky. for the randomizers, because there's full teams behind all of the different games that have been randomized so far, and they've been like working super hard to just like improve the player experience and the new player experience for them. Because like you won't just have items randomized, you'll have enemies randomized, you'll have full boss encounters randomized. So like you could be playing in like the first level world, the first ever world that you would be in, and be like level 2 or 3 in, and then all of a sudden you're fighting the final boss.
Yeah.
But after playing through those over and over again, honestly, my favorite form in 2 is Wisdom form, where you get to just skate around and shoot magic out of your Keyblade as your attacks and get a huge boost to magic. Magic just felt really, really good in that game.
Yeah.
And then for 3, and this was a form that they didn't even add in until the DLC came out. Or no, not did it come out with Remind? No, it came out with the critical mode update.
Yeah.
The dual wield form, where you get to dual wield Oathkeeper and Oblivion together.
It has
iconic Keyblades from this series, and it just feels so good.
Kingdom Hearts 3 has a different name for it. It's not called. It's not final. It's called.
Final form is what you get from the Ultimate Keyblade.
No, the Ultimate Keyblade gives you ultimate form. Oathkeeper and Oblivion's like transformation in that game together. So final form is 1. So light form and dark form are each of theirs. It's called double form.
Double form, yeah. Double form is amazing. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's something that like, you actually need to really work for. Kingdom Hearts 3 was one of the few games that I bothered to go in 100%. Or at least, do as much as I can, go and get the ultimate Keyblade or whatever. And then I went and beat the game on critical mode, which you need to do to be able to get the Oblivion Keyblade, which is half of what you need to be able to do this. It was a real challenge, and it was a super awesome and rewarding payoff.
So for me, I'm gonna take a total left turn here. I really enjoyed Anti-Form. More not because maybe because I thought it was really cool and like edgy and stuff. But I just thought it was interesting because like lore wise, it's like that's supposed to be like, if Sora, like when Sora became a Heartless and became a Shadow, like this is, I don't know, this is supposed to be like that power in the form of Sora, right? Like if he could still wield his like abilities yet be a Heartless. So yeah, and then I have a controversial opinion. In 3, I hated double form.
Really?
Because it did not feel like final form. Like, from 2 to 3, they just don't feel the same.
Fair.
And I feel like they tried to make them not feel the same. It's understandable. I thought light and dark were a little lazy because they weren't any different from each other. And like their combos and like their finishers were cool, but I felt like I could, despite the fact that like they dealt more damage going into double form, like when you had it. I felt like I could just have a cooler experience using one of the other Keyblade forms, which is probably like again like story wise one of my favorite parts of 3, because it builds upon like a smaller thing that was introduced into the series. So when you're a wielder of a keyblade, right? Like not just everybody can wield a keyblade, right? Uh, it's people. What the fuck is it? People with light
A
in their
Keyblade
heart?
wielder?
Yeah. What is it like? People with like light in their heart? Like it's not good natured people. I forget what it is.
Um,
It's explained in the mobile game.
Fake fans.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
We didn't
Also a
immediately play
big
the
thing,
game.
an important thing for people to know. Um, Unlike with games like Mario and Zelda, where there will be like spin-off games that aren't canon.
Oh,
Like nobody's going to be like Link's crossbow training is an integral part of the Zelda series. Um, every single game in the Kingdom Hearts series is literally integral to the story in some way, shape, or form, including the latest Kingdom Hearts game, which was a rhythm game where you got to play through Disney songs as
yeah.
well as the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack.
Even the games that are mobile games, even the games that
Even the
are
mobile games.
even the even
The
the
only one that has Sora in it that so far hasn't necessarily been lore, that hasn't been, uh, you know, entangled with the Kingdom Hearts series, has been Sora's inclusion as the final character added to Smash Brothers Ultimate. But even then, people have still found a way to somehow connect it. Because in Kingdom Hearts 2, you do interact with Cloud and Sephiroth, and then they disappear, and you never see them again. But we do see them both fighting each other in Smash Brothers Ultimate, and now that Sora's there, people have been saying, "Oh, this is what happened. Sora went on his own to go help Cloud fight Sephiroth in Smash."
pretty pretty interesting. But I mean, like they could build it into lore because
Like, yeah, it could be.
just because Sora is a world traveler. The answer is people with strong hearts, or if a Keyblade Master has chosen a person as a successor and has given them the ability to wield a Keyblade, or given them their Keyblade. But I think they still
Right.
need a strong heart in order to wield it. So whether it be for good or for bad, an interesting thing that we see is that Axel, a nobody, spoiler, a nobody that is part of Organization 13, is a Keyblade wielder. A cool thing that we figure out is that Axel can like reshape his Keyblade into whatever he wants, into the weapons that we see him use, and the fact that that concept is in Kingdom Hearts 3 as like the forms of it is really cool in my opinion.
Absolutely.
The fact that your Keyblade can go through not just one but two different stages of transformation into different, way different weapons. I mean, everything from a shield to a pair of skates to a cannon, a spear, like tons of different transformations. I really enjoy I really enjoy that. And because of that, I definitely think, I don't know, if I had to give it, I definitely think it's definitely using like the Pirates of the Caribbean Keyblade. I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, yes. Um, I loved the forms for that one. The flag, oh my god, it was overpowered.
Yeah, it had some really good finishing moves. What's it called?
That one is called the Man at Arms.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. It's really good. Um, and I guess but technically that's technically separate from the forms that you can have, right? Like your forms and your Keyblade changes are separate things, right?
They are. Um, because I mean, all Keyblade wielders are, if they become like, well versed enough with being able to use them, can transform them. We see that with characters like Aqua, Ventus, and Terra, who all can turn their first off, they're sick because they have Keyblade armor. Like where is that? When can I use that? But also they can turn their Keyblades into transportation vehicles that they use to go between the different worlds instead of using what Sora uses, the gummy ship.
Keyblade bicycles, or not Keyblade bicycles, Keyblade like
Keyblade sickles.
Keyblade sickles. I don't know. They look
Keyblade sickles.
they're really cool, and I mean like major spoilers. Zigbar has been using guns for however long, and he's
Yeah.
a Keyblade user. So, but if like I guess it would have to be like I don't know. The forms I don't think they really do anything, but like besides like color changes, they give like different stat bonuses. I don't know. I'd probably say it's like I don't know, like strike form or something. Definitely more of an offensive person. Or element form.
Strike
Like the
form?
spamming magic.
What's strike form?
When you turn red.
Is that Valor?
So
Valor form.
yeah, well, when they like switch like in 3, like
Oh,
you have like the separate because like Keyblade
right.
transformations are separate from like the form transformations.
Yes.
Even though they're like associated.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. I really do like Wisdom though. Wisdom is pretty cool. What's your favorite alternate version of Sora?
Alternate version of, I mean,
Like when he just like hops in a world and he has to become that
oh.
thing. No.
You know what I was gonna say. Ooh. Let's see. Honestly, I'm kind of partial to Timeless River Zora, where he looks like an old Disney cartoon.
All right. I enjoy it. I'm very partial to either the Halloween Town version, which I feel like should include like the Christmas Town version because they're pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
But
Sora with the Tim Burton aesthetic.
yeah. Also,
Yes.
also when they go to the Lion King's world in the Pride Lands when Sora is literally just a lion.
Little cub Sora.
I really want to see them go back just so you can see like adult lion Sora. I think that'd be
That would
really
be really cool.
Just
And
saying.
then Simba's just like dead.
No.
They're like, oh no, what happened? He's like, he got overtaken by the ghost of Scar.
Also, the pirates design is way cooler than like anything we got before.
Yeah, Pirate Sword is pretty cool.
Yeah. So some things about it. I think it's so interesting how they incorporate Final Fantasy in it. Like, Final Fantasy is canon to Kingdom Hearts, but not the other way around. Certain story beats seem to be included. Like, what was it? 10. 10 was the game that had come out, that had been out since, like, Kingdom Hearts 2, right?
Yes.
So,
no,
no.
because
It was 2. It was 10 and a half, right? Or was it 11?
10 had already been out
Yeah.
when Kingdom Hearts 1 came out.
Okay, yeah.
Because the other 3 characters that were on Destiny Island with Kairi and Sora were Titus, as well as the other two like best friends of Titus. The guy that like throws the ball or whatever
Yeah,
is there.
yeah,
Albeit it's like kid versions of them, but it had to have been out before that.
yeah.
Yeah, characters all over the place, and like they're just sort of like there, super casual about it.
Yeah, it's really interesting the way that they incorporate it, and rumors have it that at the end of 3 and going to 4, that the producers want to like get away from Disney. I think we were talking about this before, or we had heard about. I've heard
You mean
about
away
this
from
before.
Kingdom Hearts
Yeah, they want Disney to. They
or
want like
Final Fantasy?
they want no like the separation of like Disney and the IP of Kingdom Hearts. So like to
Oh,
make it more Final Fantasy esque, like more of like the
interesting.
not the Disney stuff, which I feel like some people mistook for Yuzoru's game from 3.
Yeah, Verum Rex.
Yeah, but it's definitely something that's possible. I feel like it's too tied. The 3 IPs are really tied together that it's not possible at this point. But
Yeah, that's true. I
um,
mean, it felt weird playing through Dream Drop Distance without Donald and Goofy there.
yeah, I mean, you play 358 days over 2. I mean, you pretty much
That's
you're
true.
playing a totally different person,
Yeah.
and have a totally different cast of characters with you. I mean, same cast, people that you know, but not like the people you're always used to being around. On which I should ask, what's your favorite Kingdom Hearts game?
Game?
Yeah,
Oh,
be truthful. First thing that comes to your mind. What is it?
358 Days Over 2.
358 days over 2?
I I love that game so much, and like I've got like some personal things um outside of that game that don't necessarily have to do like with how good of a game it is, or like how awesome the gameplay was, which it is. It's a phenomenal game. um but like my family, like, sure, they support me, they love me and stuff like that, but they didn't always necessarily like hop in on the hobbies and stuff. That being said, if it wasn't for my mother, I would have never played Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
She rented it on a whim from like a Hollywood Video back in the day when those still existed. Um, and then I ended up playing it a little bit. I was like, this game is wild.
this is
Give
the
me
best
more.
game ever.
Yeah, I'm catching a cat. um, but
This is the best game in
um,
my life.
but when 358 Days Over 2 came out, I don't even think I had heard about it at that point. And then out of completely nowhere, not only my mother but my grandparents were in on getting me into playing this game. They got it for me. They got me like the special like walkthrough guidebook for it. And then my grandparents showed up one day and were like, we have a special surprise for you. And they handed me a stack of postcards for that were all from Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. And it just, they were just like super happy and like super in on, oh yeah, Disney and guy beating up Disney with a sword? Great.
Three. Oh, that's great.
Like Roxas, Shion, the entire organization, they're all a bunch of edgy characters, but like they're also all just sort of so lovable.
Yeah, I also have a really 358 Days Over 2. I don't want to admit it, is the one I played the most because I couldn't beat certain bosses in it, so I ended up
Yeah.
just like doing side quests or like just trying to play it out the
Did
most.
you struggle with Agrabah like the rest of us and
Yeah.
not being able to use a keyblade?
Yes. Um,
Oh,
and it was interesting, and it's also like I fought really hard to get to get dual wield.
Yeah.
and like getting that, and then like after that, I was just like, well, what am I supposed to do? And then I never touched the game again.
Did you ever get to play the multiplayer?
Nope, never
Oh
had a
my
friend.
god. Oh my god. Did you even like try it in like solo mode?
No, I don't think. Maybe. I'm not sure.
God. Do you know what went into the multiplayer?
No,
Because oh my god, the
explain.
multiplayer was such a unique experience and so interesting. Because like it was truly the first time in the series outside of like playing through Chain of Memories and Rechain of Memories, where after you beat the game, you could go through and play it as another character. I won't spoil it in case there are people
Oh,
who haven't played it, but
you
you
can
can
play as
play as the
Organ.
entirety of the organization as well as King Mickey.
Never mind. Yeah, I did play it. I remember this.
Okay, yeah, and you just got to play through missions. And I have one. There was one other kid in my school, at my middle school, who had the game, and I wasn't allowed to take my DS with me to school. But once I found out that there was somebody else there who like played the game and liked it, I was like, I'm not missing this opportunity. So like for months, I snuck my DS in and begged my dad to take me to school early so that I could hang out with this kid and then just play Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2 with him and just go through all the missions, try out all the different characters. And then when we got bored of that, and a bunch of other kids would show up with DSs, we'd all just play Mario Kart DS with each other.
Sounds like some good memories.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I had to get help from people to play it, because I was like, I knew what I was doing. I was much better like playing two and one. And
Mhm.
I blame the big finger, small controller
The
of the
game was
DS.
also hard,
Yeah, it was.
especially the final boss and
I
like the entirety of
I actually had a pretty easy
Wonderland.
time. I actually had a pretty easy time with the final boss.
Wonderland was hard though.
Yeah. It was it's definitely it's definitely interesting. A game that I have a lot of time built into as well. I do have to say though, as stereotypical as it sounds, I do really love two. I played a lot of two. I think I got fixed into the gameplay of two and the forms, and I might have nostalgia goggles when I play three, and I expect to be a built-on version of two, but it's not. But yeah, no,
I
and
mean, three two's a fantastic game.
yeah, I just think that like I don't know, and also like in preparation for those who don't know and have gotten into the series before, or right when three came out, the gap really made it like hard. Like, although we did get supplementary material in between, like with different games, not even supplementary material, we got other games, but we never got. It took a long time for three to come out, so replaying two to get that full action experience came many a times. So I definitely think it might have to be the fact that I replayed it so many times as well, that it kind of caught like my attention and has kind of caught my heart is and having its spot where it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might also be because I really like Roxas. No reason.
Sweet boy.
Yeah. And it only gets worse because I played 358 Days Over 2. But
Oh, the poor boy.
yeah, this boy. Okay, I think that's about it. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, just a little episode. We talk about one of our favorite games. Just random nonchalant things. If you guys want us to talk about more specific things, just let us know. But
Let us know in the comments.
yeah, let us know. Not the YouTube comments. We don't do that anymore. Tweet
Nah,
at us.
nah, the Twitter comments.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah. If you want to get in contact with us, I am at lying_mask on Twitter.
I'm Vincent Barlow 8.
And you can reach both of us at Domestic BF Pod. Shout out to Ultimate Maverick X for our art. And yeah, well, talk to you 2 weeks, guys.
See you later, beautiful people.